sleepy now.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
to...
Hmm. Yum. I'm bad at starting these things. Okay, so the podcast is here. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It's just weird energy because we didn't do reflux first, which is usually I feel like that's usually a good way to get into things, but we're skipping it this week because of reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Blame
Reasons.
me, everyone.
It's okay. 'Tis not your fault. Man, it's a sleepy Sunday right now that we're recording. As in, I
Oh.
want to go back to sleep, but I can't.
I should say, we were talking about like insomnia from like workmen and stuff before I hit the record button, which was unfortunate because I clicked the button after we talked about it. But I will have like sleeping problems because of fireworks over the next week and a half.
Fireworks?
For Halloween.
You know, you would think with the fucking film, with the whole anonymous thing of the mask and the remember and all that stuff, Americans would be more aware of like Guy Fawkes Night at this point, but I guess not.
I mean, I'm aware of the fact that it exists. I don't know when it is.
Remember the
Yeah?
5th of November. Gunpowder,
You were saying this. You were saying this.
and plot.
Okay, because I was a bit confused because you're saying this week, but the 5th of November isn't this week. It's the week after.
I said week and a half.
Okay,
Yeah.
that because I was like, oh, are you talking about like this week? That's why I was confused.
As for me, I'm a bit confused because my system apparently cut out for several seconds there.
Remember the 5th of November.
Right.
But if you don't remember, it's no big deal. Nobody really cares.
If you don't remember, the 2-week glut of fireworks going off for no reason will remind you. Ugh. Do Americans deal with this too? Like, I know you go hard in for the jingoism of like July 4th and stuff, but like, do you have like 2 weeks of fireworks going off like way the fuck early? Also,
The closest time that would happen is around 4th of July, in which people are just buy a ton of fireworks.
Yes, we do have a lot of enthusiasts who set them off for several days prior and several days after.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yes, it is.
It's like, are you still doing fireworks? What day is it? Oh, what's that? We're not even in July anymore. You still have fireworks?
Well, that makes more sense in this country because you get fireworks for November 5th and also for New Year. So, you know, you probably just buy a bunch of them in October and then just use half and then half.
I suppose. Still.
Whereas your country has nothing. Unless, you know, some people really, really prefer the idea of the whole Independence Day being August 2nd instead of July 4th. You know, that's also a thing. Some very it's a very pedantic idea of no, it shouldn't be like, you know, Christmas should be in January instead of December. And yeah, okay, but you know, it's still fine, guys. It's all right.
It's really sad when you go to the store and they've just nuked the Halloween section and it's just Christmas decorations and it's October.
Hashire Sorio.
Don't. It's not Padoru time.
Kaze no yoni.
We still have Thanksgiving. Come on. And Halloween.
You have Thanksgiving.
Okay, fair, but still.
Yeah. So it's I can't be mad at Padoru memes, but Christmas is gonna be fucking weird this year, you guys.
Yeah, it is. Hope your Christmas presents have been Lysol sprayed down and cleaned of all possible infectious diseases.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. None of my family can actually go and see each other right now because, you know, my stepdad is incredibly immunocompromised. So I'm not sure what we're going to do for that. It might be a case of the thing my mum has threatened of since I was like 4 and Christmas gets cancelled. Like, legitimately this time.
This time it's for real. Man, I hope Christmas is like I hope everybody stays safe on Christmas. I know for me, the family that we're having over is going to be the family that we know is safe and is nearby. We're probably not going to invite my sister over for Christmas, just because she believes that um, this whole coronavirus thing is fake, and they're trying to control your minds with a fake vaccine and track you and stuff. And she doesn't believe in masks, so probably not having her over with our grandparents
Yeah, that's
ever again.
very depressing.
You hear these people, they're so convinced that they're right, you know? Not a not a shred of doubt in their mind, and they'll just throw article after article after article after you see. This one has a scientist who says so, and it's like, is that scientist
He's a
credible?
paleontologist, though. What does that have to do with?
Yeah, you know? It's like, wait, looking at this guy, he kind of maybe was kicked out of the scientific community for this kind of BS stuff that's not true. And pushing like false scientific narratives. Uh yeah. But you can't reason with people who are that ingrained. But
This week
yeah.
on the Fandom Flux podcast.
Hey,
The Fandom Flux fancast was where I was going with that, but you know.
So I got good news and not so good news. I'll start with the good news.
Okay.
I might have mentioned this before, but I do have a second monitor that I'm rocking right now, and I've
Yes.
been using that, and it's been working out very, very well. And at the same time, uh, this is allowing me to do lots of stuff, and also, oh, the new Pokemon DLC thing happened. Crown Tundra.
Yes.
It's been rather enjoyable, I think. My suspicions about that picture I posted 2 weeks ago, it was actually another hunt everywhere for 150 different things quest. But it
This
was
relatively easier, to be honest.
much easier. Of course, now that I've succeeded in that part, I have the hard part ahead of me. Spoiler alert, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
I mean, you're on a podcast with someone who is literally currently playing the game. Maybe don't.
I'm currently playing it. Please do not spoil me.
Okay. I mean, if you've even started the quest, you know exactly what's happening with it.
I have started a few of the things, but this list just came out like 2 days ago, so maybe a little bit light on the spoilers for now.
Fair enough. Well, let me just say this. I'm not happy with,
Well, I think he disconnected again.
Yeah. Oops.
I don't think he's happy with his internet connection, that's for sure. Yeah, the Crown Tundra is I've been enjoying it. Here's hoping he sees that and comes back. I've been enjoying it so far. It is kind of suffering from previously mentioned problems with these DLCs. At least as far as I am. Oh, welcome back.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. What were you saying?
What was the last thing you heard?
Let me just say this. And
Of
that
course.
was pretty much it.
Let me just say this. Just gone.
Perfect comedic timing there. Well, I thought better of saying what I was going to say.
Discord
You'll
said no.
You'll find out when you get to it. We'll discuss it next week.
I was saying, playing through it, there are a few problems that I am noticing. The problems that I had with the last DLC, which is this wild area. It is big. It is great. Still no trainers to battle at all. That's kind of sad.
You would think that would be pretty easy to like incorporate into these things of just okay. We want to do trainer battles, so boom, there's a trainer. Give them this, and this, and they'll just run the usual AI that all trainers have.
The only difference with the battles is like the only battles you find are story based for the most part.
And
At least as far as in as I am. They did up the level to 70, but I still have level 100 Pokemon. So yeah. I think that oh, okay. I was gonna say, they added in a new thing, which are Dynamax Adventures, and so Dynamax Adventures are basically you and 3 friends or 3 randomly matched people online go through a small sort of almost like a dungeon where you choose different routes to fight 4 different Dynamax Pokemon in a row, and then you fight a legendary, and you can catch every single one of them. There's a 100% catch rate, which is boss battle after boss battle after boss battle, and you're using rented Pokemon during this. And each time you catch a Dynamax Pokemon, you can switch them out, or get other things like there might be a trainer or a scientist on your path that you choose, and they can give you a random Pokemon that you can swap in. So it's actually pretty complex, and I really like how it plays. It was really fun doing it with a group of people. And there's a higher chance of it being shiny, and you're always guaranteed a legendary at the end of it. So that's really nice.
There's also the fact that you can save up to 3 paths. So if you fail to catch a legendary the first time, you can try again as many times as you want. Personally, I was planning on finding all of them and then taking my sweet time going down the list one by one. Only found out the hard way that you can only save 3 at a time.
Personally, I have most of the legendaries already, so I'm using this as a much easier way to get shinies.
I will recommend one thing. Try to catch them all before you before you do the rest of the story quests.
Okay. That was kind of my intention anyways, because they released a new item that you can get by doing these Dynamax adventures, and that is a patch that changes your Pokemon's ability to their hidden ability, which is very useful.
That's a key to taking some erstwhile forgotten Pokemon and turning them into powerhouses again, the likes of which we haven't seen since Gen 5.
I can give my starter the hidden ability, thank goodness.
Also, try to catch them all. Generally, good advice in Pokemon. They don't insist on gotta anymore. You don't gotta catch them all, but try, have a go.
Yeah, just try. My brother's trying very hard. He's doing a good job. I don't care that much.
No,
anymore.
Not gonna catch all 1,000 and something Pokemon.
They haven't broken 4 figures yet.
Haven't they?
Haven't.
One thing that is kind of noteworthy is that there's a lot of Gen 4 Pokemon that are not in this game still, which is basically just shouting that they are going to be remaking Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Yeah. Please, yes, and thank you. I would love that. Put Diamond and Pearl in the same format as what they did for Sword and Shield. The fans will be ecstatic.
Gotta bring back DPs for the fans. Anyway, patient, you're having some issues there.
Yeah, with your mic.
Nothing I can do about it. It's either this or you can't hear me at all.
Yeah.
Darn. Maybe check the wire if there's any wind going at it as well.
Sorry, I got distracted by a picture of an evil doggo.
Anyway, Pokemon Crown Tundra. I like the bigger area. I like the Pokemon that they've added. The new legendaries that they're introducing seem pretty cool. I don't really have much more to say other than that for right now. I'm still kind of a little bit upset that there's not as much to do in terms of actually using the Pokemon that I'm catching. And I get that that there's a whole thing with the champions. Oh yeah, I can get that to you, patient. I get that there's a whole thing with the fighting as a champion with all the different gym leaders and everything, but that's only unlocked apparently after you beat the story. So guess I gotta just go through the story. At least the Dynamax adventures are cool, but I can't bring in my own Pokemon, so well. Oh, I guess since I kind of I'm rolling the ball along, I'll continue rolling it. So kind of the sadder news, I guess, is that I was called in to substitute as an emergency thing on Friday because my grandpa had to go to the hospital. So I had to substitute for my mom and fill in her place. And I was running on 4 hours of sleep because I stayed up the last night playing Genshin Impact, and I had a hard time falling asleep, and so I was playing Genshin because I couldn't fall asleep. And so my grandpa's currently in the hospital. He's been checked for COVID. We don't think it's COVID, but they're still holding him even right now. And hope he's okay. He was some fluid in his lungs was the issue, and he was losing blood, and they're not quite sure how he was losing blood from his blood tests. So, bit worried about that. Aside from all that, I haven't really done much in terms of like noteworthy things, I guess, because I did play some more Smash. I picked up Smash again because my brother is back for the weekend, and I got to play against Hero in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, aka the Dragon Quest main character, and that is really, really painful to play against. Because at first I just didn't know what the hell he was doing. What are you doing? What is that move? What is that move? Stop! What is that move? Because what Hero does is they summon up a menu like from Dragon Quest, and then they choose a move, and they have an MP meter that they manage. So when I'm fighting against my brother, I have to look down at the bottom of the screen to see his menu and see which move he's going to make, so that I can try to counter that.
I just have the Keith sketch of like playing against a pro running through my head right now. No, stop! What do you do? How are you doing? Stop it! It's my turn to play. It's my turn.
Once I figured it out, I was able to kick his butt, and he's just like, "Wait, what?" And that's really satisfying. Just being able to reverse it. Yeah, I mean, let's see. There was a Pokemon. There was, yeah. I started watching. I watched a few episodes of Kuma 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 Bear with my friend Dawn. So Kuma 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 Bear is, I guess, an isekai story. There's this kind of rich, lonely girl who's like very resourceful, and she manages stocks and everything, and she's into VR games. And one day she gets a special login bonus for her VR MMO, which is a bear suit. It's like a bear Kigurumi thing, like onesie, full suit. But it has amazing stats. She's like,
Well, yeah, it's a bear.
Okay, thanks. And then she gets thrown into the game and now is essentially forced to wear that suit to survive. And now she is the crazy bear girl who just runs around and explodes things. And it's kind of just a silly, lighthearted story. The art is really cute. Good to relax to. Not something that's going to be super memorable or anything, but it is a fun little anime to relax to when you're having some stressful midterms, like my friend Dawn was having.
How can you say it's not super memorable when it has a name like that?
I mean, in terms of the actual story, it's not super memorable, but in terms of the name, very memorable.
I probably would have called it Kuma 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 Bear 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 Bear. Gotta have
She goes to register at the Adventurers Guild, and it's like, what's your job class? And she just puts bear.
Fair. That's fair.
Amusing.
It's a fair bear.
It's a fun little show just to chill out to. I think that's about it for me, though.
Patient, while we're certain we have you. How's it going?
It would be going a lot better if Frozen didn't just, as in the status from Pokemon, if Frozen didn't just wear off after not even one turn. What's the point of it if it doesn't last The opposing Pokemon was frozen on your turn. Then, immediately after their turn, the opposing Pokemon fought out.
I have memories of like early gens when Frozen was the ultimate bullshit of it just didn't go away.
That... Honestly, you would think that they would keep it that way, considering that it's just... You can never get it higher than a 1 in 10 chance.
It's the hardest status element to get off.
And now it's just useless. Makes me mad.
Is it just me, or do all the in the those Dynamax adventures, all of the kind of status effects and extra effects of attacks, they seem to always hit?
Well, it doesn't matter much, considering that the Dynamax Pokemon can, on a whim, just blow it off, along with all your stat boosts and such.
I mean, yeah, that's RNG dependent, but it's...
Yeah, it always... And now in this hailstorm, here I am having defeated this legendary Pokemon for the umpteenth time, and so I have to try again. One nice thing about the Crown Tundra DLC, you knock out a wild legendary Pokemon in the story mode, just leave the area, come back, they're ready for you to try again, immediately.
It's really nice.
Very. Of course, it gets kind of frustrating the third time you watch them struggle themselves into unconsciousness because they break out of every single ball that you throw. Not to mention, even when they've used up all their moves, which takes how many possible turns, the timer balls I use don't even shake. Not once.
I've had multiple times when I've had critical catches that just don't work.
Yeah, I've had that.
And he's had enough! Oh, I'm so sorry, patient.
That needs to stop happening.
I don't know what's causing it.
I've had that happen to me several times as well, the critical catch failure. But I've already beaten the Crown Tundra DLC, the story mode myself.
Ooh.
So, I'm in the midst of... trying to just continue catching them all. I'm waiting for the fog to blow in so I can catch a Solosis. It's taking a long time. On the bright side, I've found my favorite fossil Pokemon, Aurorus.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one. It's so beautiful.
I'm just really happy that Tyrantrum is back. I love Tyrantrum.
And everyone loves Aerodactyl.
Everyone loves Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl's just flying around. Like, hey, just grab him.
Mm-hmm.
I want a buddy cop show of Aerodactyl and Skarmory just hanging out. Being giant hard birds.
But the Skarmory has weak armor.
Okay.
What about Corviknight, though?
I don't know what that
Corviknight's like he's like the... No, it's Corviknight and Skarmory, and then the Aerodactyl is like the police chief.
The
he's
old
so
grizzled
old.
police bird.
Yeah.
Zero, that code doesn't work.
Hey. It doesn't work? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I think I realize what the issue is. It should be a 0 instead of a 9 there. There we go.
Okay, now let's try that one more time.
Yes.
Uno mas.
Uno mas. Everything else should work fine. We're exchanging Nintendo friend codes.
There we go.
Anything else happened to you this week, patient?
Well, last week, for reasons of faith, basically, I was in a bad spot last week. This week, I'm building myself back up, so in a much better place now. I feel stronger now. Am I coming through?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Didn't want it to cut off there. Anyway. Oh yeah. I've been volunteered this week to cover at one of the busiest branches for a couple of days. A couple of the busiest days, simply because they need the help, and my branch can afford to lose a few people for a couple of days.
Can't figure out whether that's a good or a bad thing, to be perfectly honest.
Did I mention that the area sales manager that we've had for 12 years now has decided to move to a different department? Yeah, so things are getting stressful, and they're not getting any less stressful. But they will get less stressful for me after this coming Friday, which is not only the third payday of the month, which means that deductions for taxes and insurance and such don't come out, meaning it's bigger than normal. But also, it's the last day I have to work before I get my other week of paid vacation. Yeah.
Paid vacation. Yeah. Very nice. That sounds really great right now.
Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Besides that, as far as writing goes, the Crossbrain is torn in a few different directions. We're working on our Halloween special, which we need to publish by next Saturday. We're working on our second Decks of the World special. And, of course, we're working on the first chapter of Marineford. So, our attention is split a few different ways. We're hoping that we can get them done, or at least, more appropriately, get the Halloween special done. It's a really fun time that we have planned.
Oh, that sounds great.
Just a little issue with inspiration, getting it all down on the page.
Yeah. I've been thinking about doing my own sort of Halloween special for my D&D game, as I tend to do. So I'm going to be not on Halloween itself, but the week after, I'm going to be DMing a one-shot for Call of Cthulhu.
Ooh.
It's pretty fun
already.
It's pretty fun. Everybody, typically what I do is I'll pre-make the character sheets. So what I did last time was I pre-make the character sheets with like stats, but like non-specific character titles and non-specific relationships, so they can fill in the gaps. And then they are thrown into a setting with a monster, and it's like a monster movie, kinda. Last time, everybody died. Only one person actually died to the monster.
If you're
that also actually sounds about right for Call of
Cthulhu. It's what you do.
Yeah. Usually everyone goes insane before they die from fighting the thing.
One of them went insane and held up a gas station with a gun and ordered the waitress who kind of worked there, as it was also kind of like a cafe thing, ordered the waitress to make him food, and she poisoned him. One character died to the monsters, and the other two characters both went insane and rolled sanity. What sanity effect they would have, and both got the sort of the madness one where they would go and they'd attack the nearest thing next to them. So they both attacked each other and killed each other.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I look forward to what sort of thing I can cook up for that, and being able to see their reactions. It's a lot more fun than than you would be initially led to believe. It all really just depends on the DM, because you can go really, really grim and dark and spooky, or you can go grim, dark, and spooky, but also be like, have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, did you guys hear about? I don't know if anybody cares really, but Nintendo dropped a trailer the other day, talking about the very first Fire Emblem game being localized for the first time outside Japan.
I saw that, yes. I'm unsure. I mean, I've been meaning to get into Fire Emblem for a while. Maybe I'll take this opportunity. See where it started.
That's not. That's kind of like saying I want to get into Final Fantasy, so I'm going to start from the beginning of the series. That's not really.
I made this exact same.
I know.
I made the exact same comparison before, but I want to talk about a few things about this announcement, because it kind of it's been on my mind. I was talking about with friends earlier. So, for those who don't know, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light is a Japan-only Fire Emblem game. It's where Marth comes from, and right now it is available on the NES online thing in the Japanese eShop for free right now if you have a Nintendo Online subscription. So the localized version, however, is going to have certain improved features, like the ability to like bookmark and like save mid-battle and stuff like that. It also costs $6 and is a limited run, meaning that after March, it is just being pulled off the eShop.
Nintendo, why?
This is kind of infuriating.
I don't know what this kind of arbitrary scarcity accomplishes. Like, maybe a few more people will buy it immediately because they'll have no other option, but most people will be like, okay, I don't care then. Because it's a remake of a very, very old game.
It's not a remake.
It's effectively a remake.
It's a re-release with one or two extra options put into it. That's it.
I'm not going to quibble over the arbitrary terms of how a remake and remaster and everything is just it literally means the same thing. But yeah,
it's literally a port.
Yeah, it's just putting the game out again for people that didn't get to play it the first time. There are very, very few people that are going to actually be like, oh my god, if this is the only time I'm going to be able to get it, I'm going to have to get it now because it's Fire Emblem. I'm so hardcore into Fire Emblem. I played all of them except this one because it was only in Japanese, so I'm going to buy it. That's the audience, the only audience you're going to reach by doing this limited scarcity thing.
Like, the game came out 30 years ago, and most people who are that diehard have probably emulated it.
Also,
or even
true. I don't know how easy it would be to like do a localization, a fan localization of a NES game, but
I know. I have friends who have emulated the game and played it. and I don't know if there's an official English, if there's an unofficial English patch for it already, but it's just kind of. I was talking about this before. You don't try to get people like to go back to the old by just releasing a single game like this for a limited run. I mean, I get that's for the diehards, but I was talking to a friend. I was like, if you want to play, if you want to get into Mega Man, right? You play Mega Man 11. You're like, oh, that's cool. I want to get the old ones. There's a Mega Man Legacy Collection. You can just go play all the old ones.
Yeah.
Easy. It's on everything. If you want to go play a Final Fantasy game and like so you get into it with Final Fantasy 14 because it's a big MMO, how you can go back to 1 or 2 or 3, easily.
Or even the more traditional, like I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII, but that's awkward now because of the remake. But like Final Fantasy VIII, then, because that's basically like 7 was. That's similar to the really, really early ones. Not completely the same, but it's similar enough that you probably get the mechanics. But still, it's such a different experience to what even games from 20 years ago are like.
Yeah. So here's kind of the issue with Fire Emblem as a series and why, if you're going to release the first one, you should release it a collection instead. Fire Emblem 1 was originally remade into Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon for the DS, and it was poorly received because it was a very bad remake. Fire Emblem.
That's why you were getting on my case about that. Okay, fair enough.
Yes, they did make a bad remake before. This is a port of the original because people didn't like the remake. Fire Emblem 2 was recently remade on the 3DS. Fire Emblem 3 is not available in anywhere except for Japan and has not been ported to my knowledge. Fire Emblem 4 is exclusive to Japan. And Fire Emblem 5 is exclusive to Japan. And Fire Emblem 6 is also exclusive to Japan.
I thought Awakening was like Fire Emblem 10 or something, but I definitely remember like some SNES Fire Emblem games that were totally like localized and stuff. Radiant something.
Path of Radiance is GameCube.
Is it? Fuck.
Yes, I think the first they actually did make a version of the Blazing Blade. Yes, it does. This Fire Emblem 7 did come to the Game Boy Advance. And then Sacred Stones was also on the Game Boy Advance, and then that's when you started going with Path of Radiance, then Radiant Dawn, and everything after that came to the US and to other regions of the world. But you have the first 6 Fire Emblem games that are just a pain to try to get through. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First 5, sorry, did I miss count? No, I did not. Yeah, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Binding Blade didn't come out to the U.S., but Blazing Blade did, and so the prequel to Fire Emblem 6 came out, but not Fire Emblem 6. If I'm reading that correctly.
Okay.
So if you were to do a collection with the first 6 Fire Emblem games, that would have been great. But you're just releasing the first one with a translation patch on it for a limited run for $6.
If I can offer a suggestion, maybe they're offering it as a limited run because they recognize how few people are going to be interested.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's legitimately not how any of that works. It costs you nothing to leave it up on the store. It literally costs you nothing.
The trailer for this is literally them like 2 kids playing Melee. It's like, yeah, but who's this guy? Marth. And then they go into the trailer for it's translated with new things and coming to the US, coming to like outside of Japan for the first time. and I'm just when most of the games in your series can't be played outside of Japan, it's kind of a weird. It's weird to do, right? Because Final Fantasy doesn't have that problem.
It has a limited version of that problem. 2, 3, and 5
Right,
never came out in West. Well, it did, but way later. Kind of like this, only less stupid.
right. There's still a sizable number of games that have not come out, and they've been just Japan exclusive for like 20, 30 years. So, bit frustrated with Nintendo right now for this decision.
I don't know why they're on this limited run kick. I don't know what inspired it, what executive. If this was fucking Doug Bowser, this definitely feels like a fucking Bowser plot. It's a dumb joke. It's still a dumb joke. But still, fucking, like, this makes no sense marketing wise. It just doesn't. Like,
Because I understand if you want to do a limited run to try to drum up some discussion and hype about this, because otherwise nobody would be talking about it.
yeah, pretty much.
But like, you could have also just put out a better product, bundled together a bunch of Fire Emblem games that were never released, just translate them,
Yeah.
release them.
Or, here's an alternate. Maybe they just take that remake that they did, fix the problems with it, and release that.
Or that. That could also work.
Like, if they're so diehard on let's only do this one game, then well, you already did it, and you made it better, but it was kind of shit to play, so make it not shit to play, and just use all those assets that you already spent a lot of money on, recycle that, and then you have a game that will probably reach a wider audience because it looks like an actual game instead of just boxes. NES games didn't look very good. Just
You know something? They even did a remake of Fire Emblem 3 that they never released to the US on the Nintendo DS. They made a remake of it. Like, this series has had trouble with just being localized.
yeah, well, that didn't exactly stop with the Fire Emblem Renaissance that they enjoyed. I remember the Fates kerfuffle.
Yeah, people have always been getting mad at the translations and localization
I mean,
with
in Fate's case, I can absolutely see that point, considering, like, I saw a side by side thing of the scene, one particular scene where, in the English version, it was literally just ellipses for like 20 lines, and then in the Japanese version, it's a whole fucking conversation that's going on.
yeah, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
Or they went with a joke that these two characters are quiet so they don't talk to each other, rather than actually sticking with the material.
Yeah. That's not great.
No. So
It's never a good look when you 100% change the nature of the product when moving it to a different audience, especially when there doesn't seem to be a reason for it, other than someone decided they knew better than the original writers, which is what that incident was. Or how it came off, rather.
yeah, and like this is a game series that's had a very troubled history. Like it nearly died until Awakening came around, and that helped it to survive and come back.
Yeah. thus
And
began the Renaissance, and then Fates almost scuppered it. Some people liked it, a lot of people were displeased, and then Three Houses, I think, was the next one after Fates.
after that was the remake, which was Shadows of Valentia, which is a remake of 2, which I am not a huge fan of because, well, they did update all the graphics and all of the mechanics. They also had some archaic, broken stuff still in the game that just wasn't fun to deal with. Like a lot of the map design is the exact same, and some of that map design is terrible. Also, there's kind of like pseudo random encounters that just keep popping up as you're moving across the map. So if I want to move to a town to go get items because I'm running out of weapons, well, whoops, gotta fight. Whoops, gotta fight.
Yeah, I guess that's to emulate the old idiom of amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk strategy, and veterans talk logistics, or something like that. I forget what the actual words are, but yeah. You could make an argument, but it's not a good argument.
It's not. Yeah, Three Houses is great. I like Three Houses. I need to get back to it at some point.
It would be really nice to finish my playthrough of that. It's on the list. It's on the fucking list. Never gonna
got
get
a huge list. But yeah. How you been doing, Casey?
I'm playing Dark Souls 2 again instead of getting to the list. That's where I am. Fucking what? Fucking what? Not even the good one. Not even the good Dark Souls. I'm playing the one that everyone hates. In fairness, I hate Dark Souls 3, so that's not really, here nor there. But still, fucking ugh.
I still have a lot of nostalgia for Dark Souls 2. It's such a different feeling to it, you know?
I liked it a lot. I'm liking it less as I'm going back to it and trying to play it.
Which one, regular or Scholar of the First Sin?
Scholar.
I don't like the changes they made with Scholar.
No.
Personally.
Like, hey, we're gonna put the fucking ogre right in the middle of the first area, not the first area, the second real area, the Forest of Fallen Giants. Fucking just right there, wandering around in the river in the worst possible place you can fight him because you can't roll or run properly, which is how you have to fight him.
I'm kind of just frustrated with the fact that there were so many extra statues they decided to add.
Oh yeah.
That's just like, screw off.
Yeah.
It was fine.
One right there in the first area. That is an annoying piece of shit. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make a lot of... Like, maybe that one in particular is there to be like, hey, there's a lot of these, so you're going to have to get used to having to deal with them. Which, in this case, the way to deal with that one is to farm 12,000 souls in the early game, on top of the 4,000 you already need, to get that thing open. Buy a... whatever the fuck the item's called to get rid of him. Yeah, that's
Yeah. So
that was a Dark Souls joke.
go play Bloodborne. Thank you.
Fucking Siegmeyer is fucking great. I love that guy. He's so cool. I should have just played Dark Souls 1 again. I really should have. I feel regret.
You can stop playing Dark Souls 2 at any time.
I can. I'm pretty much going to, because it's just a miserable game to play. Like, the environment design is not good. The gameplay is not very good. Like, even in Scholar of the First Sin, they still have that thing where enemies can turn on a dime in the middle of an attack.
It's like when I went back to Super Mario Sunshine. I'm like, oh, I remember I liked this game. I never beat it though. It was so hard. And it's like, no, it's not hard. It's just the camera sucks and the controls suck.
Yeah. I did 2 fucking Let's Plays in Dark Souls 2. One of them on the Champion Covenant. Fucking. Oh, that was my medication that I just knocked over. Yeah. I don't know why I put that much effort into that game. I really shouldn't have. God, it's awful. Um, yeah. So I should stop playing that. But, mistakes were made. I blame the best friends. I'm still watching that Let's Plays, or rather listening to them. And I had the Dark Souls 2 one running. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this game. I loved this game. I did 2 Let's Plays in this game. That wasn't wasted time. That was fucking great. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun when you're very used to that game's bullshit, is probably how I would put it. But coming back to it
Yes.
after several years of not playing it, no. No.
Some games, going back to them after having experienced other conveniences in games, is just pain. Like, I'm a big Pokemon fan, but even I was having some trouble getting back into Pokemon Platinum after a long time. You know, because I really like the fact how in Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can just pause the game and open up your box.
I mean, time goes on and some things just get easier with the mechanics they add in. But one thing that remains constant across Pokemon games, every one since Generation 2, is the tedium of repeatedly counting to 3.
Yeah.
Because you'll keep doing that no matter how many games they advance with.
Counting to 3? I'm not sure I follow on that one.
One. It appeared to be caught. One.
I thought that might have been what you
two.
were talking about, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I remember being so convinced that if I hold L and R and B while playing Pokemon Emerald, I will catch the Pokemon and I'll have a higher chance of it working.
Yeah, there were a lot of those rumors in my locality, let's call it. It was holding down the button after you press it. Hold down A.
I'm
Lies,
just like
lies, all lies.
Yep.
I'm just like filled with the shonen spirit of like Ash Ketchum of like, come on.
Yeah. You can't do nothing. You can't just watch. You have to feel like you're contributing to this somehow. I'll make it happen.
You need to have control.
Yeah.
So it comes down to it's a child's search for control in an uncertain and crazy world.
Okay.
I've got to keep control.
Okay. Yeah.
Thinking about kids being in control, and I'm just like, man, substituting for a kindergarten class in this environment is really weird. The kids are seated like at opposite ends of these of their tables, and there's like plexiglass between them, and nobody's allowed to stand up unless it's to go to the bathroom.
You've mentioned I feel very bad for kids that are growing up in this. It's going to be rough.
I mean, like they still had fun with like going out and drawing with chalk on the blacktop and everything, as long as they're socially distanced. But it's just what unforgettable times we're in. So,
Man.
Casey, aside from Dark Souls 2 and hating yourself, what's going on?
I can't believe I went from I hate Dark Souls 2, I'm playing it and I feel miserable and the game feels shit and the dodge roll takes half a second to fucking start for some reason and it takes like 3 seconds to start drinking the fucking Estus. I go from that about like 10 minutes ago saying I have the fucking list, it's on the list, other games are on the list. I go from that, I should just play Dark Souls 1 instead. That's what I went to. That's what I went to?
Stop.
Fucking what?
You're a masochist, Casey. That's the only explanation.
Dark Souls 1's pretty good though. It's a good game.
I am never going to play a Dark Souls game simply because I don't have the stomach for Sif.
Ooh. It's a rough time.
Really? Did you really say that?
Kill your feelings.
Unintentionally. She's a good girl. I think she's a girl. I forget.
Yeah, she's a girl.
Yeah. Poor Sif.
But we have to come in because she's barking up the wrong tree. So we gotta.
Patient's growling over there.
Sure he's not howling?
If we keep going, he's gonna be. Alright, so yeah, fucking so what were we talking about? Yeah, Dark Souls, Sif was a whole thing. Like that got to like bring back Aerith kind of levels of stuff.
And why wouldn't it? It's a big, lovable dog.
I mean, in this case, there was a bit more behind it. Like Final Fantasy VII, that was a very strict. You're going through the story. It's telling you the story. That's it. But Dark Souls was full of all of this secret shit that the game would not tell you, right up to the fucking DLC that no one figured out for over a day of how to actually access it. So I can understand the logic of, okay, there is a big doggo, he is lovable, she is lovable, I don't want to kill the doggo, so there has to be a way to finish this without having to kill the doggo. We don't need to be enemies, doggo. Never panned out. There was no way.
It has to be this way.
Love it so much. It's still really good. It still holds up. Stop it, Casey. You have so many games. You have so many games you could play. Finish Yakuza 0, Casey. Finish literally any of the games you started and didn't finish. God damn it. Alright. What else did I do? Genshin Impact, that's still fun. I have basically ignored Fate Go for most of this event. The
raids just ended.
Yeah, so I heard. We'll probably just be doing last minute farming to get the basics from the event and then just leave it.
Yeah, I don't really care that much about it.
I mean, it's got some materials that I really actually need, so I will probably get the basic brown stuff, the foes, the embers, and the welfare servant. Then I'll do the ladder, and then I'm done. That's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah, that's a thing. It's a cute event though. I will grant it that.
It is fun.
Magical girl shooting doji. That's okay.
Mad Defender girl. Do Onis have magical girls? Shooting just like lying. Yes.
Sure. Why not?
I like that this entire welfare servant, their purpose is just one character pretending to be like dressing up to make one other character's dreams come true. It's just your parents dressing up as Santa Claus.
I love that it's Shootin' Doji, who is like the most terrifying, crazy, badass, but holy shit evil servants, just completely doting on the worst Oni ever. Like, just
Yes.
absolutely terrible at being an Oni. It's very charming. Um, yeah, so still waiting on that big update for Genshin Impact. That is like 3 weeks away, I think.
What's the update have?
November 11th, I think. You know that big gap in the map between Mondstadt and Liyue?
Yeah,
The big
the
chunk?
Dragon Cliffs.
Yeah, Dragon Stone or something. Dragon Spine, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it unlocks that area.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be very nice. Just for traversal, if nothing else. I don't know whether it's another country or if it's just another part of Liyue that we haven't gotten to yet.
There better be dragons to fight.
That'd be nice. I mean, we have one, but it's not really a fight. It's more like, hey, you have some cysts that we need to bleed. It's a weird concept for a boss fight, but yeah, okay.
And you got the first half and the second half. And the second half was kind of fun, but the first half went on for way too long.
Thankfully, you don't have to do the first half again when you do the boss fight a second time.
My adventure rank is garbage because I haven't actually been advancing in the story or doing quests really.
I am adventure rank 35.
25.
Yeah. My world level is 4. I am just waiting to ascend. I've forgotten her name again. Qingling? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then leveling up all of my characters when the day ticks over, because that will immediately fulfill one of the battle pass things. And I am putting a lot of thought and effort into this fucking gacha adventure game that I've basically already completed all the content for at this point.
I have gotten the Explodo baby, Klee. And
Yeah,
she's very fun.
She's the thing.
She fires lasers for no reason.
Yeah, she's a weird character to play. Like I did her quest chain thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trip. Some of these quest lines are a trip, man.
I haven't even gone to her quest chain thing.
You might have. You just have to. You have to actually do something to unlock it.
Yeah, I think most of that stuff unlocks at a higher rank.
I think you might be able to do it now. It's just you have to do. I think it's 8 commissions.
Oh, okay.
And then you can
That's
go
probably...
into the quest menu and unlock it. Like there is a bit at the bottom left. Like it's. I don't know what button it would be for you, but yeah, there is a thing in the quest journal that you can unlock it from.
Right. I should get on doing some more commissions then. Yeah. She's a really interesting character to play as because once you get the hang of her, she has a really nice special which does a little bouncing bomb, and when it explodes, it leaves like mines that kind of just float around.
Yeah.
So if enemies go into those, that deals damage.
Which would be really useful for bosses that tend to, like the static bosses that just swing around the arena like the trees and shit. Yeah.
It's really useful for switching out of her to go do somebody else to do more element like stacking. Plus, in general, her explosives also break rocks very easily for mining.
They do.
And shields as well. So,
which means you don't need a heavy weapon person as much as you used to if you have her.
Yep, very useful.
A lot of the 5-star 7s have that kind of utility of, hey, they also do this other thing that makes the world stuff easier.
It's like with Mona. It's like Mona can also just sprint over water.
And Venti can just make an updraft so you can glide upwards no matter where you are at any time.
I really wanted Venti for that. I didn't get Venti for that.
I got Venti for that, but then also, the protagonist can also do something very similar with Geo.
Yeah.
That game's really fucking good. I am astonished at how good at it is. It is really good, really good.
I'm not quite nearly as hooked on it as I was with Breath of the Wild. Um, because there's just some stuff about it I'm not a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of the world just how do I put this? In Breath of the Wild, a lot of my favorite parts of it were when I would just go explore and I'd see something like a gigantic maze or a giant orb of darkness in the distance. And I'd go, "What's that?" You know? I don't really have that feeling of, very often I don't have the feeling of, "Oh, what's that?" or "What the heck is going on here?" I get it sometimes, but it's not quite the same, and also just it feels like with I actually talked about this before. One thing that actually bothers me is there's not a perfect dodge system, which I find weird because Honkai
In
Third Impact
what
also has a
sense?
perfect so when you dodge at the last second, in Breath of the Wild, it slows down time and gives you a chance to counterattack. Um, in Honkai Third Impact, the other game that these devs made, you also have a perfect dodge, in which you hit the dodge button at the last minute, which for this would be like the sprint button, for example, and it allows you to evade an attack. And depending on the character, you get a special effect that happens or a special ability. Like, for example, one character in Honkai Impact, when they do a perfect dodge, if they're in their super move, super mode that they have as part of their special, that ups the bar to keep it going. And if they're not in it, it makes the bar increase to get them into that easier. So you're encouraged to do that, and there's mechanics for each character for that sort of thing.
Yeah. In this, it's much more basic. Of hey, you dodged perfectly. You didn't get hit by the attack. That's
Mm.
it. Even if you would have, even if you were still in the way of it, you have iframes, so it just completely whiffs, which is great for things like the fucking wolf because the wolf is an asshole. But yeah, there's nothing particularly special about it.
Yeah. So in that sense, it kind of bothers me. Just like little gameplay things that are just like, well, if I was Link, I could do all of these things at once instead of switching between characters to do these things. Um, that being said, I still like the game a lot. It's just small things that are just like not sucking me in quite as much as Breath of the Wild did.
Hmm. But then Breath of the Wild has other sucky parts. Anyway, we won't get into that again. But yeah, there are definitely cool things to find in Genshin Impact. Not many of them in Mondstadt, I will mention. Like, Mondstadt is actually kind of boring, but Leeway has a bunch of this out of the way stuff that is kind of cool.
Yeah, I've been finding Leeway to be a lot more fun to explore.
Mm.
Mondstadt was just super boring.
Yeah. I mean, Mondstadt was the beta area. That was all just stuff that was in the beta. Uh,
Hmm.
I think they took some feedback from that and went, okay, let's put some cool stuff in the next area.
Makes me excited for future areas because I feel like they're only going to get more exciting.
Yeah, I hope so. Dragonspine is a very auspicious name for a place to have some cool shit in it.
I bet you there's going to be a lot of verticality.
I mean, if it's still in Leeway, that absolutely makes sense. That, yeah, mountains
Because
is
it
very much
is,
that thing.
it's the Dragonspine Mountains.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. But yeah, that's mostly all I've done though. Like I say, watching best friend stuff. I'm watching one of the Naruto things they did, which is weird to watch because it's like before Wooly got back into Naruto. It's weird. Just hearing them only have vague tangential knowledge of the source material. It's very strange. I finally got another post for that quest going. So that was pretty cool. Finally doing some stuff in North Blue. which is going to be fun because it's completely, well, for the vast majority of it, it is original stuff that I'm having to create. Had some help with.
Nice.
So that's cool stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to. No, I think that's it. I think that's everything that I've got. Yeah.
Hey. That seems like a podcast.
Yeah. I don't know why I worry whether we're gonna be able to talk for like an hour or not, because like for the past 2 weeks we've had 3 people and gotten fucking well over an hour. Pardon me, over an hour. So I don't know. Shut up, me. We know what we're doing. We can ramble for an hour and a half, or an hour and 15 as it might be. Yeah. Yeah.
I have like
Still
a
lonely, though.
friend who was just like, "Oh man, I'm so happy you got Seatonai and FGO." And it's like Seatonai is the best, and I'm over here like Seatonai, I got you. You are not getting anything until I get around to you. You are not eating up my materials.
Yeah, basically. Like, I mean, she's
Um,
useless to me, so no, we know that. There's no point in me doing anything for her.
she's useful to me somewhat, but I more just wanted her because I wanted, Fate Say Nightcast
Hmm.
because it's literally Ilya
Yeah.
as opposed to the magical girl Ilya that I do not want.
Yeah. No one wants that.
So I will gladly take this one over the other.
We will reluctantly accept Chloe because she is kind of okay as an archer and also free.
Yes,
That's about it.
everyone else can get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the podcast. Let's call it there and stuff. If you want to public Discord, I won't say if you want to get in contact, you can do that however the fuck you want. You know where our stuff is, but we do have a public Discord. Is link in the description, and Patreon also. If you feel like it, we would appreciate it. Link in the description. So that's an episode. Bye everybody.
Bye, everybody. Just don't get depressed by the natural state of the world.
Good luck with that.
Do you hear that the moon's cracking?
Now
Wait,
Korra
what?
Sensei is blowing it up.
Yeah, there is
Wait.
literally a growing crack in the moon, and scientists are kind of freaked out about it.
That's no good.
Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah.
Are we clear?
Is the evil in our moon about to be released?
Something Doctor Who. That was a story in Doctor Who that the moon was an egg and it cracks and breaks and an alien thing is born and it fucks off and we have to get a new moon. That was an episode of Doctor Who. It wasn't very good. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch the skies.
I'm scared.